Trump, it's so bad, Obama even got you to admit that you liked him. Remember that? Remember that? We ain't forgot.
But I happen to like him. I respect him and I respect his wife.
And so you gotta roam around here and keep repeating Barack Hussein Obama, Barack Hussein. It's almost like you gotta remind yourself. It's almost like you gotta gin it up in yourself. I wouldn't want to live in that kind of prison. Shout out to all the subscribers and the members here on the channel. Don't forget to like the video. My name is Reese Waters, and this is Racist of the Week, where we explore the stupidity and hypocrisy of discrimination in hopes we can build a more perfect union. And also laugh. As usual, I would like to thank today's sponsor, Racism. And of course, if you have any nominees, you can drop them in the comments. You can email me at admin@reesewaters.com. Today's nominee.
Each other in the presidential fitness test, but others. And then we had the Obama administration. Wonderful, wonderful person. Barack Hussein Obama. Have you heard of him? We had the Obama administration, which phased out this wonderful tradition of physical fitness. Thank you, Barack, very much. Great job.
Really, dog? We doing Hussein in front of kids? That's what we doing? You know, people don't just take the win. Trump, they letting you talk about fitness and we all got eyes and we letting you talk about fitness. You can't just take the win. No, we gotta make it about Barack Hussein Obama. Has he started paying rent yet? Has he started paying rent yet? In that head of yours? I'm telling you, Trump, you gonna have to start charging because these rents are crazy. I know y'all don't want to hear that because affordability is a hoax, but you can't just have him living up there all these years and not paying you nothing. Now, the best I can give you is this ain't the first time that you have utilized appearances with kids to take racist shots at politicians.
How did I do with the voters that do eggs?
Awesome.
Would you say 100% or 99%?
100%.
Did anybody in the egg industry vote for Kamala? A low IQ person. She's a low IQ person. Who's a lower IQ person, Biden or Kamala?
That's close.
That's probably the toughest question. That's a tough question.
President Trump wants to take a picture like this with Kellyanne Conway. She is.
You even embarrassed the Easter Bunny. You even embarrassed the Easter Bunny. Got out here like I look in the Easter of '88 when I wore the same seersucker as my cousin. That's how embarrassed the Easter Bunny is of you. And we talk about like different generations and whatnot. I gotta have some gratitude for growing up in the '80s and the early '90s, because I couldn't imagine growing up in the DC area and getting invited to go to the White House Easter egg roll or some other appearance and you got to listen to this nonsense. Honestly, I'm like, you telling me go to school for what? For what? Go outside and work out for what? Huh? For what? But there is no shame like evaluating the mental makeup of the leader of our country and his obsession with the man who did it better. It's clear that Obama has been living in Trump's head rent-free for the last 2 decades. Some think he first ran for president because Obama made fun of him at the White House Correspondents Association dinner. He mistakenly called Biden by Obama's name multiple times while campaigning, once even saying he beat Obama in 2016. He's even claimed he's healthier than Obama. The Big Macs? Is the Big Mac? They put the medicine under the cheese? Is that of the Big Mac? That's probably it. Let he who has never called the name of the one that they are really obsessed with in the presence of another cast the first stone. It can't be me. It can't be me. I've done that before. I have accidentally said the wrong name on a date before. It just wasn't another man. And it damn sure didn't last this long.
I'm not going to judge your journey. It is your fantasy.
Obama wins the Nobel Peace Prize. Trump spends years obsessing about winning it himself. Obama passes a historic healthcare law. Trump makes it his top priority to overturn it. Trump is convicted on 34 felony counts by a jury of his peers. He posts a deepfake of Obama being arrested. From global popularity and eloquence to the respect he commands from world leaders and celebrities, Obama's a lasting reminder of everything Trump wishes he could be. That's right. In other words,
see, his limited, narrow view of the world made him feel threatened by the existence of two hardworking, highly educated, successful people who happen to be black. Tell him that the job he's currently seeking might just be one of those black jobs.
Oh, MAGA, don't cry. Don't cry, MAGA. What you say? Oh, you don't want to believe Michelle? That's fine. Take it from one of your own.
Hatred for Barack Obama is plain and simple. He's black. He went to Harvard Law. He graduated the top of his class. He's, incredibly articulate, and he's all the things that Donald Trump wants to be, right? And he just can't handle it. So what do you do if you can't handle it? And you're Donald Trump, you attack it. The same way he attacks my credibility all the time, right? All of a sudden, I've become a convicted liar. Well, why am I the liar, right? At the end of the day, who did I lie for? When I lied to Congress, I lied for the benefit of and at the direction of Donald J. Trump.
Oh, that hit hard, didn't it? That hit hard, didn't it? That hit almost as hard as trying to put subtitles on one of Trump's public appearances. That's it's rough. I know it's going to be rough, and I know you're struggling out here too. You should have listened to Michelle.
There are versions of the country that happen, right? And the new version doesn't make the old one bad. It's necessary for growth. And I think we're in just a janky version, right?
Yeah, janky's right.
It's a janky version right now.
Tonight, those comments from former First Lady Michelle Obama are drawing some criticism from the usual suspects on the right.
Gateway pundit, watch 62-year-old Michelle Obama says America is in a janky era under Trump while wearing her hair in pigtails. You thought pointing out that Michelle Obama is 62 with that photo was a shot? You thought pointing out Michelle Obama out here looking like she just crossed the graduation stage is 62 was a anything. That's why I wore the tan. That's why I wore the tan, because I remember. Because I remember. You got dang near 1 million followers. You did all of that just to get ratioed on that post doing Smush Parker numbers. It's sad. It really is sad. And it brings us back to the point at hand. It is the envy that is just eating Donald Trump alive. And I could maybe see why. I mean, everybody just naturally likes Obama, and you gotta attack everybody.
Baby, it looks like Obama will be getting to the Pope before Wigs Are Us. It seems like J.D. Vance and Wigs Are Us invited Pope Leo to come to the White House to have a conversation. That would have been a great invitation. Seems seems on brand, right? Wrong. Because to my recollection, didn't y'all tell Pope Leo to get in line yesterday? And that because you are the United States of America, you can do whatever the you want when it comes to war? It's pertaining to the war with Iran, and Wiggs are saying that he's going to eliminate a whole civilization. Well, baby, Pope Leo said, nah, I ain't doing that, my boy. We good on you. But guess who's been meeting with Pope Leo? Obama's personal advisor. The man that ran Obama's campaign. I think his name is David Alexa Robb. Well, they've been talking, and it looks like Obama may be meeting the Pope before Wiggs R Us meets the Pope. Hey, Pope Leo, can you do us a favor? Y'all both from Chicago. It'd be nice for you to show up to the Juneteenth opening of Obama's foundation. That would piss Wiggs R Us off. I mean, that would be Tito, wouldn't it?
Trump, it's so bad, Obama even got you to admit that you liked him. Remember that? Remember that? We ain't forgot.
But I happen to like him. I respect him and I respect his wife.
And so you got to roam around here and keep repeating Barack Hussein Obama, Barack Hussein. It's almost like you got to remind yourself. It's almost like you got to gin it up in yourself. I wouldn't want to live in that kind of prison. The evidence is by now well documented. The flap over inauguration crowd size, the withdrawal from the Iran deal, the rollback of Obama's environmental policies, the broadband attack on Obama's environmental regulation and non-discrimination policies, the ongoing assault on Obamacare, his complaints of presidential harassment, his recent disparagement of Obama during the G7 meeting, breaking with the tradition that U.S. presidents don't criticize each other abroad, and on and on. What is the source of Trump's Obama obsession? Some argue it's part politically motivated. Having spent a lifetime in the incessant pursuit of attention, Trump has developed a knack for sniffing out issues and people, the mention of which will stir his fans, and Obama is one such person. Some may post his racism as a primary motive, as Trump has a history of racist statements and actions, yet racism is not a primary motive for Trump. It cannot be. By all evidence, Trump is not truly animated by big ideas or abstract values. The only thing that truly matters to him is him. A better explanation may begin with a simple observation that with Trump, the deepest motives are always egotistical, since his florid narcissism won't allow any other person, entity, or idea to be more important. But what is it about Obama that injures Trump's narcissism, compelling him to rage? The answer is not that Obama is black or a Democrat. Rather, it is that in Obama, Trump sees his antithesis, everything he's not and cannot be. Politics aside, a fair look at what is already publicly known about the two men will suffice to conclude quite readily that Obama has basic decency, which is a core quality of character that garners intuitive respect across cultures and times, independent of one's status, wealth, or fame. Trump is at his core indecent. As a man, he's forever fledgling, propped up by his wealthy father well into middle age. He struggles mightily with self-control, by his own admission, fears self-reflection, and is clearly incapable of a range of human emotions from empathy to humor. He has no use for tenderness, the arts, or spiritual pursuits. Trump traffics in debasement. Despite his gilded life, he's constantly aggrieved, embittered, and at war with the world. He appears to have no friends, only henchmen, lackeys, and hangers-on. The people he attracts into his orbit quite regularly turn out to be crass opportunists, con men and sleazebags, or greedy narcissists like him. Psychology today. Oh, that was nasty. Trump, you gotta fight them. You gotta fight them. They just, it should be some HIPAA laws or something. They put all your stuff out there. I mean, we all know, we all see it. We all see it, but, that's quite a bit to unpack. One of the, interesting takeaways from that, because they ceded that he was a political opportunist. They ceded that he was racist, yet at the same time, moving with those two as your guiding light, you would have to at least have the capacity to see to some bigger ideals and values. Capacity even he doesn't have. Wow. Now, let me see. decent, indecent, talking about the grace and elegance of Obama. Well, if you didn't like him before, you definitely not going to like him now.
Tonight, I can report to the American people and to the world that the United States has conducted an operation that killed Osama bin Laden, the leader of al-Qaeda.
Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi is dead. He was the founder and leader of ISIS.
Let us remember that we can do these things not just because of wealth or power, but because of who we are. One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. May God bless you. And may God bless the United States of America.
He died like a dog. He died like a coward. The world is now a much safer place. God bless America. Thank you.
Yeah. Now that you're no longer in office, what powers do you believe the president should not have?
Well, there are a couple that I followed even though they weren't law.
Message.
And I want us, we're going to have to do some work to return to this basic norm, and we probably now have to codify it.
Nothing bad can happen. It can only good happen.
The White House shouldn't be able to direct the Attorney General.
Now, one thing to note, things I followed that weren't law. In other words, stuff we weren't crazy enough to try. You know what I mean? Stuff that decency prevented us from engaging in. And we never conceived that anybody would be elected with the capacity to act that crazy. There you go.
We can't overcome the politicization of the criminal justice system, the awesome power of the state. Although this is in the Constitution, it's a little hard to change, but maybe don't pardon people who've given you a bunch of campaign contributions.
Or that's going to go right back to jail. How about that? Or that's going to go right back to jail. How about that old restitution to regular, everyday folks who lost their life savings, many of whom voted for you? How about that? How about ones guilty of crimes against children? How about that? Those would all be good ideas.
Don't politicize our military. As president, you are commander-in-chief. You are responsible for directing our military. But there had been a whole series of norms that were in place to ensure that you weren't trying to make that military loyal to you as opposed to the Constitution and the people of the United States.
Now, this is a fascinating one because, again, it also falls under we didn't think anybody would be elected with the capacity to try and break this norm. Also, the pushback would be so severe from the military themselves and from the political media that it would be a non-starter. However, that's not what we saw from the military. We've heard it from various members of the military, but this narcissism we saw the first time around, and he got your votes this time around. So apparently that wasn't a norm they deemed needed protection.
The President of the United States shouldn't have a bunch of side hustles that those companies and foreign entities can invest in.
He called you hustle man. Yeah, he called you hustle man. Out here flipping chitlin loaf.
This right here is chitlin loaf. This go down easy and don't come up rough.
You selling bags outside of Penn Station. That's the kind of president that we have right now. That is exactly the kind of president that we have right now. The kind of man who wouldn't be too ashamed to constantly voice his obsession with Barack Obama. And to make matters worse, because this was chef's kiss right here.
I'm worried about the Republican Party, not just the Democratic Party. When I was president, people would ask me, well, what change would you like to see in Washington? I'd say, I'd love a loyal opposition.
What do you mean by that?
I'd love a Republican Party that was conservative in some ways, that didn't agree with me on a whole bunch of stuff, but believed in rule of law and judicial independence.
MAGA. Barack Obama just gave you, I want better for you. He just gave you, I want better for you. Ain't nothing more embarrassing than that. Ain't nothing more embarrassing than that. I'm telling, hey, you ever bring somebody home and they're like, I just want better for you. That's MAGA, he gave you, I want better for you. I ain't never seen that party look this raggedy. But that's your opposition. But still, it ain't no fun. Yeah, I mean, it ain't no fun. Basically what he is voicing is what it feels like to hate the Dallas Cowboys over the course of the last, 30 years. And come on.
And so, listen to everybody. Nobody believes in you. What are you prepared to do about it? Don't let no one come into your house. Take your meal. Do what you need to do today. I'm not nervous. I'm just telling you.
It's more fun when you at least are good. You know what I mean? It's more fun to enjoy the fall when they at least can pick themselves up and run. They ain't nowhere close. Wow. Yep. That's what he said. That's definitely what he said. Trump, you just leave Obama alone, honestly. It's bad. Cause then you force us to look at it, two of y'all back to back. And look, we already know that's what you can never be. Stop reminding us. Well, find something else to... No, that's not what I meant. President Trump calls for House Republicans to start the process immediately to remove Hakeem Jeffries from office. What, y'all gonna change the congressional office assignments or what? What you mean? What you mean by that? You ain't even allowed in New York no more, so I don't know what that's about. They treat you worse than Joel Embiid. So I don't know what you about to do. From thug to low IQ, Trump escalates personal and racist attacks against Rep. Hakeem Jeffries. Jeffries, who could become the first black speaker in the U.S. House of Representatives after November's midterm elections, has become the president's latest political target. Now, let me see this. Low IQ Democrat Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries is nothing but a thug and is a danger to our country, with a photo of him holding a bat. So, are we supposed to pretend like low IQ means anything other than somebody that you oppose? Because you've already thrown that out. I mean, you hit Alex Jones with that. You hit Megyn Kelly with that. You hit Tucker Carlson with that. So you think that's still doing something? Is that what you... I'm just trying to figure it out. I don't know if there's I'm just trying to figure it out. But, here comes Rep. Jeffries. Do you need a hug? Be best. Come on, Hakeem Jeffries. You can do better than that. You listen to too much rap. You know too much rap to be talking about, do you need a hug? Come on. Take him back to ether takeover days. Something. But it's this part right here. Jeffries, who could become the first black speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives after the midterms. So your issue with Obama is that he is what you could never be. And now we want to stop Hakeem. I think I got it. No, I don't think you're going to change course. From the official White House account, Happy Cinco de Mayo to all who celebrate. Now, what was it that Obama said? He talked about norms. He talked about norms and respect for the office And that's what we get from the official White House account. Janky, like janky was the right way to go. And ain't this the same dude who had the nerve to say that Erica Kirk should sue over the Drewski? You know, from one day to the next, from 1 hour to the next, who can't see that? Nancy May, sit down. Every day is Cinco de Mayo for Chuck Schumer and the left. Illegals first, America last. And she was ratioed. See, this is what happens when you tweet in pajamas. This is what happens when you tweet and when you do business in pajamas. This is exactly what happens. And I just addressed South Carolina this week, and I let you live, Nancy Mace. That video had gotten long. I had something prepared for you, but that video had gotten long. So I stuck with Tim Scott and Lindsey Graham. And here you go. Put that glass down. That's part of the problem too. Up, here comes Chuck Schumer. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Chuck Schumer. I wasn't familiar with your game. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. You do, whoever you consulting with on the social media thing, that's solid. That's solid. Trump, I know that you are far too stubborn and far too far gone to do anything about your obsession with Barack Obama. The only thing I might be able to advise is stop openly admitting to it every few days. That might help. Maybe if you weren't constantly reminding us of Barack Hussein Obama, we might eventually forget about this.
And I know just the guy to do it. Donald Trump is here tonight. Now, I know that he's taken some flack lately, but no one is happier, no one is prouder to put this birth certificate matter to rest than the Donald. And that's because he can finally get back to focusing on the issues that matter. Like, did we fake the moon landing? What really happened in Roswell? And where are Biggie and Tupac? All kidding aside, obviously we all know about your credentials and breadth of experience. For example, no, seriously, just recently in an episode of Celebrity Apprentice at the steakhouse, the men's cooking team did not impress the judges from Omaha Steaks. And there was a lot of blame to go around, but you, Mr. Trump, recognized that the real problem was a lack of leadership. And so ultimately you didn't blame Little John or Meatloaf. You fired Gary Busey. And these are the kind of decisions that would keep me up at night. Well handled, sir. Well handled. Say what you will about Mr. Trump. He certainly would bring some change to the White House. Let's see what we've got up there.
That's exactly what the ballroom about to look like. Watch. Watch. That's why that's the holdup. They can't get a contractor to put their name on that. I want to thank you guys so much for watching the video. Truthfully, without your support, I wouldn't be here. In fact, let's take a moment to give credit to the one that led us all here. Trump. I know it's Trump. He led us right to the, oh, further back. Rupert Murdoch. Definitely Rupert Murdoch. Cause he gave us Trump. Further back. Al Green. Cause he invented the internet and it's been all downhill ever since. Ronald Reagan. It gotta be Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan and Reaganomics. Nixon. I know it's Nixon because he came up with the Southern strategy. It gotta be Nixon. Woodrow Wilson. It's gotta be Woodrow. That was the first time that the supremacist was all up in the White House. Andrew Johnson. Because Andrew Johnson, he the one that messed up Reconstruction. So I know it gotta be Andrew Johnson. Cain from Cain and Abel. Yeah. We ain't been right since Cain lost his mind. No, I'm talking about mothers. Mothers like Crystal, who sent me this message. I wanted to reach out and share how much of an inspiration you are to my two sons, Kahir and Kamani. Even at the ages of 7 and 8, they find great value and quality in the content you create. As a single mother raising two young brown, aka black men, I feel it's incredibly important for them to see successful role models who look like them. My oldest son, Kahir, is so inspired he recently decorated his room to resemble your studio. My youngest son is particularly motivated by your diamond play button. Honestly, I never paid attention to it till they brought it to my attention. Both boys are now working to build their own channel and create content aspiring to follow in your footsteps. Thank you for being such a positive influence on them. Now, first of all, I haven't gotten my diamond play button yet. They might beat me to that one, but let me see them jerseys. You let him get a Falcons jersey? You don't think he too young to sign up for that kind of pain? I don't know. Falcons, that's crazy at that age. That's crazy at that age. But you know what, Crystal? I can take absolutely no credit for my influence because that comes from you, and give yourself the credit for raising such fine young gentlemen. And what did your mama always tell you? Huh? What? Clean draws. Vote. Your mama didn't tell you to vote? Oh, maybe that was just growing up in DC. Brother, We'll take it from Florissa in Texas, who wrote, I'm gonna wear this to the voting center in my very Republican state tomorrow to vote because I need to know who raised them. I watch you every day. Keep up the good work. And you do the same, Florissa. That is exactly the connection that I wanted to make. Civic responsibility and embodying the compassion and love of a mother. Vote like a mother. That is all the stuff that we're rolling out for Mother's Day over at thepeoplesgetup.com. And by the way, it's not just, vote like a mug, like actively vote, but vote with that compassion and care. Vote like you got some sense. That's what I'm saying. We wouldn't have had none of them people that I named in the beginning if y'all voted like y'all have some sense.
He's right,
Well, here we got bags here because I know y'all be handing your mother just about everything. We got crop tops here. That's not what I'm wearing right now. It's full on the bottom. And we got tumblers for everything from water to wine because I've seen it firsthand. Y'all deserve it. In fact, a lot more than that. You order now, you can get it in time for this Mother's Day. And don't forget to send your pics to me at admin@reesewaters.com.